This is Fight Fans Radio.
Welcome to Across the Pond with your hosts, Andre Jacobs and Matt Simpson.
Hey there, everybody. This is Fight Fans Radio, and you're listening to Across the Pond MMA. My name's Andre Jacobs. As per usual, I am also here with the fantastic Matt Simpson. Matt, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. After a few days off work, and then got the show back on Sunday, which it always makes me happy. Great weekend of MMA. I mean, so all's good over here in Indiana.
Exactly. It's been a jam-packed last few days of MMA. I mean, Thursday there was Bellator, Friday there was Invicta and ONE FC, Saturday the UFC on Sweden. We were definitely spoiled, and we're gonna break it down we're gonna break down every single event, just in case you missed it. We're hoping you didn't, but just in case you did, we're here to talk about it and hopefully give you guys something to listen to during the week. So let's start off on Thursday. Thursday we had Bellator. This is the Bellator card that I was looking forward to the most. Any time Pat Curran fights is a Bellator card that I'm looking forward to the most. And he didn't disappoint with possibly my submission of the year. It's drawing with Kenny Robertson's weird leg submission thigh hamstring slicer thing that he did a while back, but Pat Curran with the guillotine choke, which was sort of not guillotine choke, but more like an arm triangle, has been so far my submission of the year. Matt, what were your thoughts on the Bellator card?
I think you said it all right there with Pat Curran, man. Pat Curran is unreal. I tell you what, I don't know where his contract is with Bellator right now, but unless he is just wanting money, he'll be gone once that's over with. I mean, that guy, I cannot wait to see him fight in the UFC against some of the top featherweights that they have. And his ability to go for submissions, I think it's been a while since he's had a submission, but that guy, when it's an opening, he is so fast. I mean, that his Peruvian necktie is just as quick. I mean, the guy can sink a submission super fast. He's just technically sound all the way across the board. Fantastic fighter. Love watching him fight. The card was a really exciting card though across the board, man. Rick Hahn dispatched of Caro Parisian. I was so hoping to see Caro of old. I mean, when I first started watching MMA, and Caro came on the board, he really was a guy that I loved to watch fight, mainly because he was one of the few judo practitioners that was really doing well in MMA, and I love watching him throw guys. And unfortunately, he had the hamstring injury and drug problems and everything else seemed to have derailed him completely. So it's kind of sad, but seeing Rick Hahn come out and put on a show was great. Doug Marshall, Brett Cooper, exciting. I mean, it's just Kosbalayev, Richmond. It was a really exciting card. I really think that Bellator gave us the best card of the entire weekend from top to bottom. And they should, because this was their season finale card. So we won't see him again until I think June.
Well, you know what? It's crazy, but when did you ever think Doug Marshall was going to become relevant in MMA again? But he is. How crazy is that?
No, absolutely, man. That was a brutal knockout, too.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic knockout. But just a little bit more on that Pat Curran submission, because for some people, they may not realize it, but that was one of the most awkward guillotine chokes I've ever seen in my entire life. Simply because when you get a guillotine choke, your arm is wrapped around the neck. However, this got the Shamalayev's arm as well. So it was his arm was tucked in with the choke, and it was truly fantastic. And it came from a scramble as well. So I don't know if he meant to get it that way or it just happened and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go with it." But it was beautiful.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, I can't say enough about Pat Curran. I got to see him win the featherweight title live, and the guy's just fantastic. So the Bellator's definitely got a gem right there until he decides to leave them, because I just can't see him staying there with his skills. Although I think Daniel Strauss, assuming Strauss gets his head out of his rear end, that could be an interesting fight. But I still don't see anybody unseating Pat Curran.
Well, Curran has already beaten Strauss in his career, but it was such a long time ago that.
Yeah, and Strauss is a completely different animal now. Strauss's game has evolved tremendously since then. So,
yeah, no, definitely, completely agree with that. Let's throw it on to Friday. Friday we had two events. Invicta had a fantastic card with some brilliant moments, fantastic submissions, fantastic fights, and ONE FC also had some fantastic fights as well. Did you see Invicta and ONE FC, Matt?
I did see Invicta. I did not catch ONE FC.
Boo!
Yeah.
Dude, what's going on?
I wanted to see Aoki, but I could live without just about everybody else.
Oh, fair enough. Well, let's talk about Invicta then. What were your thoughts on Invicta? I was very impressed with the card. They haven't had a bad card since they began, and the ladies are very impressive.
No, absolutely. I tell you what, who impressed me the most on this card was Lauren Taylor. She took on Caitlin Young and won a unanimous decision. But right now with the women's MMA, if you have a strong ground game, you can be a contender. And Lauren Taylor's ground game is pretty nasty. Her ground and pound is right up there with the best of them. She's a big bantamweight. Caitlin Young was pounding on her. She took some shots and didn't wilt. So I was really impressed with her, and I can't wait to see her fight again. Christine Santos, I mean, Cyborg is. She did what she normally does against a fighter she was clearly a tomato can for her to get herself warmed back into fighting after being out for a year.
She took the beats though. She
did. She took the beating, but I mean, it wasn't an impressive win for me from Santos. No. I mean, she should be fighting somebody a little bit tougher than that. But whatever. I'm not also sold on the fact that she's completely away from the juice. I mean, she looked just as big as she ever has. So I'll be interesting to see how she does as far as passing the steroid tests and whatnot in the future. And then Hanchek Porto, that was a fantastic fight. That was probably that was one of probably the most technical fights of the night. So it was a great card, man. I enjoyed it all. Julia Budd really is improving her ground game, and so that's what I really want to see in the women's divisions is these girls, because a lot of them can strike to average to good, but their ground games are lacking. But you can see that they're really working to get it there.
Where's the love for Jessica Penn versus Michelle Watson? What a fantastic fight that was.
That was a fantastic fight too. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them, man. I'm trying to. It's a lot to get through. So yeah,
Michelle Watson getting her elbow snapped and still winning. Brilliant fight. I was really impressed. You know what? I think for some reason she's such an attractive girl. Is Michelle Watson, and the fact that her nickname's the Karate Hottie, my brain automatically goes, oh well, this is just, she's attractive, but can she really fight? And I keep on forgetting that yes, this woman can fight, and she's also tough as nails, and she's also fantastic. So I've got to give her praise, because every time she's sort of like GSP, whenever GSP fights, you're like, oh my god, he's amazing. Then he goes away for a few months, and you're like, is GSP really that good? I'm pretty sure there's someone in the welterweight division who can beat him. And then he comes back and destroys him, like, GSP's fucking god. So I'm not saying that she is like GSP, but it's the same sort of thing for me.
Hey, wait! Before we move on, I just also like to say that Invicta FC right now on their website is playing Invicta 5 on loop on Ustream. So if you didn't get to watch it on Friday, make sure you go check it out, because the women are putting on some great fights, and I know a lot of people out there that did miss the fights. They're playing it on loop. Go check it out, InvictaFC.com.
I'll be interested to see how they did numbers, pay-per-view numbers. I'm hoping they did well, considering it was a very, very cheap card. Really, it was well, not a cheap event sorry, a cheap event as in it was only $10.
No, I haven't seen the numbers. I saw some people complaining about the numbers, saying that their numbers aren't correct. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I think this is the women's MMA is a growing sport. I think that all it takes is watching one event and you'll be hooked.
Yeah, of course. The same with just any MMA event, really.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Right, let's jump onto the UFC card, because obviously Matt didn't watch ONE FC. Just for everyone who knows, who wanted to know, Jens Polver got choked out. Shinya Aoki choked someone out, and there seems to be a light heavyweight on prelims called Jake Butler, who might be someone you could be interested in for a while. He's got a very interesting story in the sense that he's a Division I wrestler from America, thus the name Jake Butler. Not very Asian.
Not very many Europeans or either. Jake Butler.
Yeah. And he's Division I wrestler who wrestled with Frankie Edgar at the same college, but he's moved to Evolve MMA to focus on striking, and striking, Muay Thai striking with some very good wrestling could be a force in the future. Who knows? But obviously Matt wouldn't, because he never watched the show. So let's jump onto UFC on Fuel. What would you like to talk about? Let me guess. I'm assuming there's someone or some fight that you want to talk about involving an Irishman.
Oh, absolutely. I was so glad to see Conor McGregor come out, and nothing against Marcus Brimage, because Brimage has really impressed me as of late, but I was so glad to see him come out and just destroy Brimage, because I'm so sick of having to listen to people talk about hype trains getting derailed and all this other BS. So Conor McGregor, I mean, Marcus Brimage is legit. I mean, yeah, comes out of tough, but the guy is quickly developing skills. I mean, it's sad that you have to say that, but it is true, at least until this season. Marcus Brimage, though, has looked really good inside the cage, and Conor McGregor just went right through him.
Yeah, no, it would only been better if you went, yeah, he's good, but he's come out of tough, pause. And then carried on with what you were saying. That would have been absolutely fantastic. But sadly, you didn't see the comic value.
Sorry.
But I've got to say, in my accumulator, I'll tell you, I got every single bet that I made right, besides from one, and it's going to make you laugh when you find out who I got wrong. Conor McGregor. Been watching him fight for Cage Warriors for a while. I knew he was the real deal. Whether or not he went out there and performed and done what he did in Cage Warriors was a different story, but he did, and it really, how do I put this? It made me happy in the sense that we get a lot of flack over here in the UK for the level of our fighters, and it's nice when a fighter does well from the UK, and he's very skillful. He's very skillful. Look at the hands 3 uppercuts in a row. 3 beautiful uppercuts in a row. And a lot of people had Marcus Brimage winning that fight. I know he was a favorite.
I couldn't believe that either. That was crazy.
But, a lot of journalists were like, yeah, Marcus Brimage is going to take him down and beat the shit out of him. I'm thankfully one of the journalists who was like, no, if that's the case, and you clearly haven't seen a lot of Conor McGregor. Because yes, his ground game isn't as good as his striking. But when you're working with Gunnar Nelson as a sparring partner, especially with your ground game, you're going to get better or you're going to die. So, Conor, congratulations. You got my Going Ham award yesterday. Well done, sir.
What exactly is the Going Ham award?
Going ham, going hard as a mother.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you tweeting that out repeatedly, and I was like, "What in the hell is he talking about?"
Should have just asked me. I know that you're a bit behind the times.
Yeah, I'm not up on all the cool lingo you kiddos use.
Indeed. Anything else excite you besides from Conor McGregor? Because I think that's actually, who would you like to see him fight next? Because I'm going to throw out Diego Brandao, or is that too quick?
No, I don't think it is. Not with the pedigree that's been put on him. And Diego Brando, you know what? He quickly finished Pablo Garza, but I think you really hit it on the head last week that Garza is a guy that makes mistakes. I think Garza is that fight could have been a lot more interesting than what it turned out to be. So Diego Brando's tough. Conor McGregor, I think Diego Brando would be definitely a good test for McGregor, especially as far as his ground game is concerned.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Anything else that
Yeah,
sparked?
it killed me when Lawler caught that quick comeback submission guillotine against Kuiper, because Michael Kuiper I thought looked fantastic right up to that point. So I'm hoping that Kuiper doesn't get cut, because he's a guy I think that, he's not, I don't think he'll contend in the middleweight division, but I think he's a guy that can give us a lot of exciting fights.
Okay, cool. Um, Me personally, when it comes to like the prelims and whatnot, I was really impressed with Ryan LaFleur. Really impressed with him. Yeah, he grinded out a win against not the greatest opponent in the world in Ben Holloway. But regardless of that, I just like the way he mixed things up, and he had some decent striking, and he had some really good takedowns, and I was really impressed with his submission defense as well. So, besides, just genuinely impressed with Ryan LaFleur, and I want to see what else this welterweight can do.
Was that your first time getting to watch the guy?
It was my first time getting a chance to watch Ryan LaFleur.
Yeah, I've watched him a couple times, and he is a very exciting fighter. So yeah, that was another guy I was hoping would come out and perform, and he did.
Indeed. Also, great surname, LaFleur. Who needs a nickname when your surname is LaFleur? Adlan Amagov versus Macklemore, aka Chris Spang. Do you know who Macklemore is, Matt?
Do I know who Macklemore is?
Yeah, do you know who Macklemore is?
Yes, I know who Macklemore is.
All right, cool. I don't know if you know what Macklemore looks like, but he looks exactly like Chris Spang, or Chris Spang looks like Macklemore. I'm not really sure what's going on, but they were very similar, and I was a little bit confused at the time. But Adlan Amagov throwing spinning shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He looked great. Looked fantastic.
Indeed. Tor Troing versus.
Yeah, don't even bother with that. But yes, I was glad to see him come out and get a win as well, even though it was against a lesser opponent.
Oh, lesser opponent. Harsh. Now, the accumulator problem. I got every single bet right yesterday, besides from betting on Michael Johnson to beat Reza Madadi.
So, I mean, I don't know how anybody bets for a Black Zillion to win at all anymore.
Fuck.
I mean, I could, if there was no money involved, I could see picking Michael Johnson, because he is the only Black Zillion that I think has a winning record since joining the Black Zillions. But oh yeah, Vitor's 1-0.
No, dude. Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're completely right. 1-0. But yeah, that broke my heart. Got every single bet right, and Michael Johnson screwed it up for me. It was a good fight, to be fair. He's so unlucky to have lost, because dude, that head kick was nasty.
Oh yeah, if it had happened maybe 20 seconds earlier, he might have gotten the finish.
Yeah, indeed. But Reza Madadi with a brilliant dash choke to get the finish. They both put it on the line. I was impressed with both of them. So sorry, Michael. Maybe working with Kenny Monday, come Monday, will be better for you, because you clearly need takedown defense work.
And I agree with that. But the thing of it is, Michael Johnson does have some good scrambles, and so maybe he's one of those guys. Some of those guys just don't care. They think that they get on the ground, they're going to be able to scramble and get back to their feet, and they don't worry so much about their takedown defense.
Yeah, but when you got a record like his, you probably should worry about your takedown defense. It's not a great record. 12-8 is not a great record.
No, but he's been on some great fights as of late. So, but with the UFC right now, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You get cut regardless.
Exactly. You could be John Fitch and have lost 3 fights and get cut. Let's go into the main card. We'll break down the main card for you guys one by one. Akira Kurosani versus Robbie Peralta. It was a great fight to start the card. Akira Kurosani seems like a completely different fighter from the dude that I saw on The Ultimate Fighter. I'm very impressed with him.
No, absolutely. That was the best I think Kursani's looked inside the octagon. And Peralta, I thought, looked flat. I thought he didn't look like he was really there to win the fight. Not taking anything away from Kursani, but he did. He did looked a bit flat to me.
My thing, and the reason I thought maybe Robbie Peralta might win this fight, I don't know if I actually picked Peralta. Maybe I did.
Yes, you did.
I did. Okay. Thank you for confirming that, Matt. Loving the fact that I was wrong. I just didn't trust Akira Kurosani's cardio because we've seen him in the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't think he beat Andy Ogle. I still stick with that fact that I still don't think he beat Andy Ogle. But his cardio looked good. Obviously, sparring with Frankie Edgar, your cardio has to be good because he will beat you down for 5 rounds. So I was very impressed with Akira Kurosani. Great footwork, good head movement. Not so good head movement in the sense that he nearly got his head blown off by a punch in the second round. But well done to him. He done very well, and onwards and upwards to him. Anything else you want to throw on that fight?
No. I think we pretty much summed that one up pretty well.
Fantastic. Diego Brandao versus Pablo Garza. I know we touched on it a little bit before, but thoughts, please, Mr. Simpson.
What's really impressing me with Diego is that when his first fight in the featherweight division, his cardio was an issue, but in his last 2 fights, he's really he's shown that he's starting to come more under control. I know that immediately when that fight started, the tweets were going about how we're getting ready to see Diego go berserk and all this other stuff, and that's not what happened. He came out very controlled, very calculated, and just waited for openings. And that, to me, makes him extremely dangerous because he is a very skilled fighter. And if he's going to fight that intelligently inside the cage, he's definitely somebody that people are going to have to watch out for.
Do you know what's scary? A Diego Brandao that goes berserk. Do you know what's even scarier? A Diego Brandao who does his best impression of Dexter. And that's exactly what he did against Pablo Garza. He stalked him, and when he got his moment, he went in there, got the choke, and finished him off. It was fantastic. Very impressed. I want to see him step up again. Obviously not against someone like Darren Elkins, who will jack you if you're below a top 5 fighter. But again, as I mentioned before, Conor McGregor versus Diego Brandao. Good fight. I want to see it. I want to see that fight made. Joe Silva, if you're listening, I know you are. You're a big fan of Across the Pond MMA. listen to me. Diego Brandao versus Conor McGregor. Or if you really want to go gangster on UFC on Fox 1 in Boston, pay Marcus Davis a huge sum of money, get him back to the UFC, fight at lightweight, Conor McGregor versus Marcus Davis. Boston goes fucking mental.
Yeah, that would be really bad to watch, though.
Oh, yeah, it'd be incredible.
You're just wanting Marcus Davis to die. Is pretty much.
No, I would never want something like that to occur. Brad Pickett versus Mike Easton. Now, did you think who did you have winning this fight?
I had Brad Pickett winning.
Okay, cool. I had Brad Pickett winning as well. So when I heard the split decision, I was a little bit confused. I think Brad Pickett was also very confused about him turning around. But as soon as he heard 30-27, he knew he won the fight. But even though Pickett won, I have to say, this is the best performance I've ever seen from Mike Easton. As in, he actually fought like a mixed martial artist, not a dude who was really big and could throw heavy punches and was just really energetic and a lot of cardio. Very impressed with Mike Easton, even though he lost. Best performance I've seen from him. Thoughts?
Well, I agree. You know what? It's what the performance we got is the type of performances that got him into the UFC. If you watched him back at and when he fought in UWC, we saw what Mike Easton can do when he comes in and really wants to win. Even though going into this fight, I think he was 3-0 in the UFC, but none of the wins were impressive. The Ivan Menjivar fight was horrible. The Papazian fight was, wasn't really noteworthy. I mean, he TKO'd Brian Bloodworth, but who cares? It's Brian Bloodworth. But yeah, absolutely, this is the best Mike Easton we've seen, and I thought this fight was going to be a pretty easy win for Brad Pickett. I thought that Pickett would control the fight all over the place, but Easton obviously wanted to come in and wanted to bang, and he did a hell of a job. It was a great fight to watch.
Indeed. And you know what? I've got to give props to Brad Pickett as well, because he stood in there and he took some shots, and my man has a chin and a half. He took some blows and he gave it right back. And you know what? Brits can wrestle. Brad Pickett was some very good takedown defense. And he jumps right back up as well, and he slams Mike Easton. He gets his own takedown. He drives through as a takedowns. And I think, you got to be impressed with Pickett. Who does he get next for you, Matt?
Oh man, that's a tough call. The bantamweight division. Man, I don't know right now. I'd say, he's maybe TJ Dillashaw. I don't know. Because with Easton was ranked. He wasn't even ranked inside the top 25 for a lot of people. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a TJ Dillashaw fight.
TJ Dillashaw already has a fight.
He already has a fight. What about Francisco Rivera?
Injured.
Man, you're killing me. Eddie Wineland is coming off a win, isn't he? Has he got a fight?
Eddie Wineland's fighting Henan Barrow for the title.
That's right. Then I'm out because Uriah Faber's got a fight.
Michael McDonald's the only person.
See, I just don't see McDonald. Pickett's lost to Heenan Brown. Michael McDonald's right there. Yeah, I guess we could see that. Michael McDonald, Brad Pickett.
I don't want to see it because I don't want to. I think Brad Pickett is at the best he's going to be right now, and I don't want to see him take out Michael McDonald and throw him further down the line. You could put Brad Pickett in a shot. You could put him against anyone really, and that next win could grant him a title shot against Henan Barrow, make it Brad Pickett versus Henan Barrow 2. But if you put it against Michael McDonald could derail that, and you never get a chance to see Brad Pickett fight for the title. But also, if Brad Pickett wins, then Michael McDonald, he's way back down the line again. I don't want to see that fight, but it's probably the only fight that makes sense, sadly.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah, Matt Mitrione versus Phil DeFries. I don't really know what to say because I'm still confused as to what the hell occurred.
It really looked like Phil DeFries had an aneurysm. That's what I'm still going with.
I should have laughed because that's horrible. But yes, was it a glancing blow? Does Matt Mitrione have not the fastest hips, but the strongest hips in MMA? I'm not really sure. Some people are saying glancing blow. It looked like Phil DeFries just ran into to his hip or a punch. I'm not really sure what happened.
Well, the guys over at Tap Out Energy Drink, they said that it was a knee that caught Phil. I didn't see it, but they said that's what happened.
I didn't see any. I didn't see any knee thrown. But Phil DeFries doesn't need to be in the UFC at all.
Sure?
Oh, I'm battling with myself whether or not he needs to be in the UFC. Battling with myself.
Yeah, that's funny. But no, that was a horrible fight. So moving on.
Yeah, Ross Pearson versus Ryan Couture. Got to feel bad for Ryan Couture. He was doing really well in that first round, and then he just got cold clocked. He got pistol whipped in that second. It was violent, to say the least. Thoughts on Ryan Couture versus Ross Pearson?
Well, we kind of said this going into this fight, that this was a horrible fight for Ryan Couture. Obviously the Dana still has it out for his dad, and too bad for Ryan. Ross Pearson was is way above anything Ryan Couture's faced up to this point. So I don't know. I thought he lost to KJ Noons, and Ross Pearson just completely blew him up. So. I don't know. I don't even know. Does the UFC even keep him? Just because of his name?
literally about to ask you that question. Do you think the UFC cut him because of his name?
That's a good question.
I'm genuinely serious. Like I could honestly see the UFC cutting him because of his name.
Yeah, I mean,
It would be
Dana
pretty
says
sad.
he doesn't hold grudges, but he does.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I still think the Josh Gross thing and the Retta Hunt stuff kind of deserves to hold a grudge. Well, not the Josh Gross thing. I definitely think he deserves to hold a grudge against that. Loretta Hunt, I wish that they sort of just made up. Well, this is what happened back in the day. But
maybe you should revisit those two situations for people that they weren't into MMA back then.
I don't want to because it's nasty, and I don't even. If you want to revisit it, it's fine. But like as a journalist, it's like for me personally, that would be one of the like scariest moments.
Well, they can Google it. So
yeah, Google it. This is another thing that annoys me. By the way, someone asks you a question and they're in their computer. I should be allowed to go. Don't ask me. Google the fucking thing, right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yeah, if you have any, type in Dana White and Josh Gross, or type in Dana White and Loretta Hunt, and you'll get the stories of what I'm referring to. I am an old school MMA fan. Oh, it made me feel a bit sick saying that. Gegard, they called him Gerard. Oh God, Gegard Mousasi versus Ilir Latifi. Yeah, well, that was just.
It was horrible. It was just horrible. Gegard dominated the fight, but who gives a shit? This is a guy that likes to fight down to his opponents. That's all I can say, is when he gets in with a guy that's not the same skill level as he is, and I don't care if Gegard says he was sick and he had injuries and all this crap. He'll fight down to his opponent's level as of late. Back in the day, he would go in and smash people. Here, as of late, it seems he fights down to his opponents. If Gustafsson was in that cage across from him, I think he would have gotten lit up.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. I feel bad for Latifi because he got his face arranged badly.
I really liked that people were picking him to win going into that. I was like, really? I mean, I guess you're putting a lot of money on that Keith Jardine fight.
Listen, if Latifi won, people would have earned some serious dollar bills.
Oh, absolutely.
Serious, but he didn't, so.
Yeah, will we see Latifi again in the UFC? And if so, who would you like to see him fight?
I'd like to see him fight.
That was a joke. Yeah,
no, we will see him in the UFC again.
He took a fight on short notice, and Dana loves those people.
He deserves another fight in the UFC. I mean, look, he was probably going to get in the UFC with a 7-2 record anyway, but he probably had to fight a few more fights. The fact that he took the fight on a few days' notice. Give that man another fight, please. He deserves it, and against someone more on his level. To be thrown in against someone, to be 7-2 and be thrown in against someone who's 33-3-1, I think that takes some big cojones.
No, I agree. I mean, he also got paid. I mean, he didn't fight for free.
Yeah, but he probably didn't get paid that much.
Yeah, but you got to fight in the octagon. I mean, I'm taking that fight if I'm a fighter every day of the week.
Fair enough. We can agree to disagree.
Disagree, yeah. But who was he going to fight? How about Ryan Bader? How about after Ryan Bader fights Vladimir Matyushenko, we let Ryan Bader fight Latifi, and hopefully Latifi finishes him.
No. Ryan Bader's not fighting Matyushenko. Matyushenko got cut.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, Ryan Bader is fighting.
That was his last fight.
Ryan Jimmo, I'm going to say? I'm going to say Ryan Jimmo. I'm pretty sure he does have a fight. Why don't, Erica, my love, I hope you're listening, are you?
Always, my love.
Oh, fantastic. Erica, could you please tell me who...
Ryan Bader's next opponent?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second, and I will have that for you, sir. Anything else for you, sir? Coffee? Cigarettes?
No. What? Oh my God, that's so horrible. I was just trying. Oh,
no, I'm messing with you, man.
I don't even drink coffee. I've never had coffee in my entire life. I just thought I'd ask.
Really? You've never had coffee?
No, I've never had tea either.
He's lying.
You are lying. You're a liar.
He's a tea and crumpets guy. They all are.
I swear.
Oh no, even worse for Ryan Bader.
Sorry, say again?
Who is it?
Glover Teixeira.
Oh God. Yes, that is a great fight for Ryan Bader. That is fantastic.
By the way, I swear on my mum's life, I've never had tea or coffee.
Yeah. Anyways.
No, I'll tell you what hot drink I drank.
Okay.
Hot orange juice and hot apple juice.
Oh, that's gross.
Everyone says that, but you never tried it. So
Hot orange juice is disgusting. Hot apple cider, that's that's all right, I guess. But hot orange juice, that's kind of weird.
Whatever. Screw you.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a weirdo.
Just a tiny little bit. Let's jump into next week's fight then.
Let's jump right into it all. What is there, like 8 of them? There's not much, not 7 on the card so far.
6 so far.
6.
Although I'm pretty sure we could, make a healthy guess as to who's going to win. Who do you reckon is going to win next week's or next?
I imagine we're going to see Salmon and Hall in the finals.
Yeah,
I would imagine so. Uriah Hall is a freak of nature, so yeah, I'm really excited to see this guy eventually get in the UFC though and fight some top wrestlers and see how he does.
No, well, the wrestlers he has fought, he's been beaten by, sadly. But Chris Weidman, dude's fighting against Anderson Silva. Cool. Konstantinos Philippos hasn't lost in his last 5 fights. Beat a dude called Tim Boach. I think we all know who Tim Boach is and what he does. So yeah, Uriah Hall could be a top 10 middleweight, and that's the first time in a long time someone from Tough has gone to that level. Or am I wrong?
No, I think that's pretty much right on. I just, like you said, he's working. We know he's working with Chael Sonnen right now. So, I mean, that's the best guy, one of the best guys you could get with to develop a takedown defense. So, hopefully that's what he's working on.
Completely agreeing. Considering Chael probably used Uriah for some weird striking angles. Considering John Jones, he was like, "God damn, this guy can help me. He can help me sooner or later." Let's jump into the card, bro. Some decent fights on the card, to be fair. Sam Cecilia versus Maximo Blanco. Who have you got?
I think Blanco is going to starch Cecilia. Blanco, really? I love watching the guy fight too because he's absolutely insane. I mean, the guy just goes berserk inside the cage.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to think Sam Samilia.
Sam Samilia? Yeah, you can't even say his name. So how's he going to win?
Sam Samilia. Do you know? Sounds like Sam Samilia for some reason. Sam Cecilia versus Maximo Blanco. I'm going to go with Sam because I just don't trust Maximo Blanco. I think his craziness.
Is he going to get him in trouble?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Next one, Justin Lawrence versus Daniel Pineda. Who you got?
I'll tell you what, if Uriah Faber, Scott Jorgensen wasn't on this card, this would be my fight of the night. I think this is going to be a real interesting fight. Daniel Pineda, he's got some serious heat in his hands. And Justin Lawrence is a really fun striker to watch, very dynamic. I think this is a tough fight for Lawrence, though, because I think Pineda coming off the 2 losses, even though Lawrence is coming off a loss himself, I think Pineda is really going to be looking to get back in the win column, and I think he will. I think he'll catch Justin probably sometime in the second round and get a TKO.
Excuse me. Justin Lawrence versus Daniel Pineda. I just think experience is going to be the factor again. Daniel Pineda's got plenty of experience. Fought in the UFC before. Justin Lawrence obviously fought in the UFC before, but not the same caliber of fighters as Daniel Pineda. And I'm just going to go with Daniel Pineda for this as well. I think there's going to be a wrestling advantage for Pineda as well. And I think that's Lawrence's main issue, the grappling realm of things. Cole Miller versus Bart Pelazewski. Wow. Can be wow. Yeah, this is wow.
You're not excited for this fight?
Sorry, what did you say? I blanked out for a second.
I mean, really, with this fight, it's just going to be a matter if Bart can keep it standing. I mean, Bart's ground game, I think, is good enough to keep him getting submitted. But if Bart keeps it on his feet, I think Bart will beat Cole Miller to death. If Cole gets it to the ground, I think he can control and get a UD. I'm going to go with Bart in this one, though. I think that his ability to keep the fight standing is going to be there. I think he'll win a UD.
Cole Miller Cole Miller via Hatsuhiyoki grapple destruction.
We'll see. I don't think he'll be able to, man. I think that if he can get to the ground, he can win. But he's not going to destroy Bart on the ground like Hatsuhiyoki. Cole Miller is not Hatsuhiyoki.
No, it's going to be uglier than that, but there's a strong potential that could happen.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see.
Yes, we will. Travis Brown versus Gabriel Gonzalez. Sorry, I passed out again. Apologies. I literally have no interest in the majority of heavyweight fights until I'm gonna say Cain Velasquez versus Antonio Silva, but then again, I don't really have much interest in that either because Cain Velasquez is probably gonna destroy Antonio Silva. Thoughts: Travis Brown versus Gabriel Gonzaga. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with Brown. I mean, Gabriel Gonzaga, yeah, he won his last fight, which was a horrible fight to watch. Travis Brown lost, but he injured himself. So I think that if Brown's healthy, he wins this fight fairly easy with the KO.
And if Brown fights smartly and remembers that he's not a bantamweight, he's a heavyweight. You can't be rocking it like that, homie. You just can't do it. You can try, you can even do it in sparring, but when you're facing another dude who's trying to knock your head off, you got to be a little bit more careful. Right. On to a fight that I'm really interested in, Miesha Tate versus Kat Zingano. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this fight coaches against Ronda Rousey on the next season of Tough the Orgy. Who you got, Miesha Tate or Kat Zingano?
Well, we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago, I think, and I think starting out, I think I was going with Miesha Tate, but I've watched both of these fighters several times here in the last few days, and I'm going with Kat Zingano, and I think that it's not going to be that close of a fight. I might be crazy, but I think Kat's just her size. I mean, they're close to the same height, but Kat Zingano is just bigger.
She's a big girl.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really, really hard for Miesha Tate to deal with. And typically you see Miesha, she does a lot of cage work and stuff. I don't think she's going to be able to do that. I think Kat's going to push her against the cage, and I think she could win an easy UD and maybe not be the most exciting fight in the world, but I think she could win an easy UD. I actually, though, I think she's going to get the submission win. So I think Kat Zingano is going to be the other coach in Tough.
All right, you're right. All I can do really is echo the words that Matt said. I've also done a lot of Kat Zingano scouting, and I've seen plenty of Miesha Tate fights already, and I could be becoming an MMA hipster by picking the underdog, but I'm gonna have to go with Kat Zingano for this one. I don't need to echo what Matt says. Erica, what are your thoughts on this, considering you are the lady of Across the Pond MMA, you are the queen of Across the Pond MMA?
Oh, I thank you. This isn't like Game of Thrones kind of queen. Like I actually have some sort of power, right?
No, this is exactly like Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Sort of queen. Now say your thing, woman.
I would say, I'm going to agree with you guys. I think Kat Zingano is going to surprise a lot of people. But how do you think that's going to affect viewership for The Ultimate Fighter? There's no real beef. There's no story between her and...
Look, it doesn't affect shit. You know why? Because people will tune in just to see Ronda Rousey.
Am I the only person who's tired of her?
Somebody get pregnant, so...
Is anybody else tired of her?
Sorry, Erica?
Is anybody else tired of her, or am I the only person who's tired of her?
I think you're the only person that's tired of her. I mean, I think that as far as the MMA crowd goes, I think they all still love her.
Good God. She gets on my damn nerves.
Yeah, she's not going anywhere for a while.
Yeah, for real. How's that haterade taste, by the way, Erica?
It's not haterade. It really isn't. I swear it's not. Okay. It's just she's
I don't
She's
drink tea.
everywhere, and she gets lauded for her abrasiveness and her being, very candid.
Yeah.
She ain't running for office anytime soon because that girl cannot talk to save her life. It's terrible. I hate hearing her try to string together sentences. It's painful to my ears.
So you must hate Nick and Nate Diaz then.
I find charming about them. For some reason, with her, I find it
What?
annoying.
Yeah, I have to say, what?
Wait a minute. Because I find Nick and Nate charming in the sense that I'm sort of like them in a weird way. When I talk, I mumble and that
Wait,
sort of stuff.
first off, wait a minute. Let's back the train up. Nate is not that bad. It's Nick that can't talk.
Yeah,
Nate can
Nick.
put,
Nick
Nate
is
is actually fairly normal.
pretty
Okay, cool.
terrible.
So
He unfortunately gets lumped in with Nick.
all right, let's go. Let's just throw in Nick. Okay. How do you find Nick charming but Rhonda not?
Because when I turn on my television to watch a segment on ESPN, Nick Diaz is not standing there pretending to be some well-spoken athlete. Nick never tries to be anything that he's not. Ronda Rousey is trying to be something that she's definitely not.
Okay. Okay, Matt, any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ronda Rousey is from the she'd go well with some of the women out of Elwood, Indiana, and I mean she is. I mean I think that's who she is. I don't think see her trying to be well spoken. I think she's just rough around the edges. I personally
You must have
don't
missed
enjoy
her on the
I
Jim
don't
Rome
enjoy
show.
listening to her talk, but I enjoy watching her fight.
Well, if that's the case, then I probably need to go to Elwood, Indiana, because I love a woman who's a little bit rough around the edges.
Well, there's plenty of them over there.
Oh, yes. Wait a minute, where do you live?
I live over by Newcastle. I live, you know where I live. I live in Newcastle, the same place you live.
Yeah, of course. Wait a minute. So, wait, where's Elwood, Indiana then? Is that like Hicksville?
Yeah. Well, Indiana's pretty well just Hicksville altogether, but yeah, it's central Indiana.
I don't need to go anywhere that's Hicksville. I'm cool. Bantamweight fight main event: Uriah Faber versus Scott Jorgensen. This is a tough one.
It is a tough one. I'm really excited for this fight, though. I mean, I think this will be a back and forth fight. I think Uriah gets the win, though. Uriah just continues to get better, and everybody hates Uriah. And he gets
hate Uriah.
Okay, yeah, but everyone actually hates Uriah. The people that say they like Uriah, they don't really like Uriah.
I like Uriah Faber.
And Uriah Faber doesn't like mayonnaise. Okay, and I can't respect anyone that doesn't like mayonnaise.
I don't like mayonnaise.
You don't like mayonnaise, or you do like mayonnaise?
I'm a tomato ketchup man.
Oh, you're weird. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But yeah, I think this fight's going to be a fun fight to watch. I got Uriah Faber winning this. I think he'll win a UD. I don't think he'll be able to finish Scott. But I mean, I didn't think he would go in and just completely decimate Ivan Menjivar either. So I can't wait to see this fight happen.
Uriah Faber can beat every single person in any division.
As long as they don't have a title belt.
Why are you stealing my fucking joke? Such a jerk, man.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Such a fucking jerk. Yeah, no, I think Uriah gets the win. Love Scott Jorgensen. Love what he does in the cage. Incredibly talented fighter. I just think Uriah Faber might just be that level above, which is sad because Scott you remember when Scott Jorgensen fought Dominic Cruz for the title, and a lot of people thought Scott Jorgensen was going to win?
No, absolutely. And Scott Jorgensen's not going anywhere if he loses this fight, even though I think he's 1-3, if I'm right, and his last 4 fights are 1-2. Regardless, dude puts on fights, so it's just gonna be a great fight to watch.
No, indeed. He's 3-2 so far in the UFC in the 5 fights he's had.
So yeah, he's a guy he's improving too, man. I mean, it's why this fight should be really, really interesting.
Exactly. Do you know what? The winner of this could face Brad Pickett.
No, that would be interesting. I would love to see that fight.
Exactly. That's it for MMA talk-wise. Well, there was some news with Vanderlei Silva trolling every single person and their mother. Then, obviously, Alexis Davis finally gets to fight at UFC 161 against Rosie Sexton. But besides from that, not much MMA news. Let's jump into the entertainment section. Hey, what you been watching, son? What's going on?
Well, I think we should hit right off the back with the Walking Dead season finale. I'm assuming you've watched that.
No, of course I've never watched it. Walking Dead. Who watches that garbage?
So, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. You know, I mean, it wasn't like I think they built. Everyone sort of went, "Oh shit's gonna hit the fan," da, 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 da. And a lot of people were disappointed the fact that the governor didn't die. But maybe I'm just being really positive, and a lot of people are being negative. But if I can get another season or half a season, of the governor, I'm perfectly fine with that. You don't have to kill the villain off straight away. You know, he isn't. There's not. It's not like it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sorry, it's the only reference I could come up with off the top of my head. Where you have a big bad every single. You have a different big bad every single season. Let the dude just. David Morrissey is a fantastic actor, and there's so much more you can build on with the governor.
Well, okay, there you go. That's what my question is. I mean, he left with two guys who are clearly on the outs. I mean, after watching him massacre everyone in the group, I mean, they're like, oh, this guy's crazy. Let's get in the car and just assume he doesn't shoot us. I mean, what's he going to do now? I mean, he has nobody. I mean, it's not like he's going up against some losers. I mean, for the most part, I mean, these people have proven to be fairly tactical, and they definitely can hold their own. So what's he going to do now?
How the fuck am I supposed to know? This is why I'm not a writer in the sense.
Yeah, you are a writer, so
I am a writer, but I don't write scripts.
You're a journalist, so you should be able to make make up some stuff.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't want to make up anything because I want to be surprised.
If that's what the journalists typically do. You guys make up stuff.
Well, easy, Tiger. Easy.
But yeah, okay. So I mean, you have no idea, nothing at all. I mean, because I have to admit, I'm completely at a loss too. That's why I don't understand why they didn't kill him off. I mean, I'm not upset that they didn't because I enjoy his character, but I'm kind of like, what are you going to do with him now? He doesn't have a town to run. I mean, is he going to go hunt down and find a bunch of other crazy people to follow him?
I don't wanna spoil anything or give away potential plot lines. But if you look in the comic, I don't think they're gonna do this. But what if the governor's the leader of the cannibals?
Yeah, I don't see that happening though. I mean, he's crazy, but he's not that kind of crazy.
Neither do I. But how far has he been pushed? He's by himself now.
He's not by himself. He's still got his two lackeys.
Look, how long gonna
he's going to eat them? So that's what's going to happen.
I don't know. Look, you asked my opinion. I gave you something off the top of my fucking head. Give me a break, okay? Cool.
Well, I have to just debate it. I mean, anyway, but yeah, no. What killed me with the episode was the killing off of Andrea because
thank you.
Her character really never got to the point where I wanted it to get, and I was so upset to have her get killed off like that. I mean, as soon as they went in there and she's like, "Oh, you're running a fever, you're hot," and I was like, "Oh my god, they did kill her," because I didn't think they'd do it. My wife was sitting there going, "Oh my god, it's gonna kill, he's gonna kill her," and I was like, "No, she'll get out of this. They're not gonna kill Andrea off." Oh yeah, you are. That's how they rectified the fact that her and Dale didn't have a relationship. They just kill them both off.
I'm so happy that she's dead.
You're happy that she's dead. Why is that?
Because I fucking hate her character. She's terrible.
I can see that. I mean, I completely understand hating her character because I was not happy with the way her character was dealt with. But I mean, that's a small complaint considering how fantastic everything else is.
Exactly, but here's the thing, right? You're someone who reads the comics,
right?
So the Andrea in the comics is awesome. However, the Andrea on the show was executed poorly. Unlike a lot of the other characters who were executed very well.
Although Tyrese is coming in a close second right now as far as being mishandled. So,
give that a little bit more. I'm willing to give that a little bit more of a chance to grow.
No, he's a little bit of a douchey in the show so far, and Tyrese is far from. I mean, I don't know. It's just what's hard. I mean, I know a lot of people don't read the comics, so they don't really give a crap. So, I mean, I suppose that it's just so hard for me to push away from that. I mean, that's years of reading comics and getting falling in love with characters. So it's just really hard to separate that with the TV show.
Look, he's had what, maybe 5 episodes in the show so far, maybe 6. I'm willing to give him a little bit more of a chance before I make a decision on whether or not I hate his character or not.
I don't hate it. It's just really irritating to me. I mean, because he's a really in the comic he's very in the comic he's decisive. In the movie or the TV show he's just very wishy washy. It's like his daughter is the one that's in charge.
It's not his daughter, it's his sister.
Or sister, yeah.
Cool, fair enough. Aside from that, I can't really complain too much about it. Looking forward to the next season. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else you've been watching, sir?
Yeah, I watched Killing Them Softly.
Thoughts?
I can see why a lot of the public has hated it, and I can see why. And with the critics, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Some have loved it, some have hated it. It is a really slow film, and there's some really really good dialogue at times, and then there's some really really bad dialogue that like it was just like filler. And this is a very dialogue heavy movie, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of like somebody's trying to pull some Quentin Tarantino-esque conversations, and it never really gets there. But Brad Pickett still in the UFC.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's character is fun to watch. It was interesting. It was solid. In his conversations with Richard Jenkins, those were fantastic. So those were the high points of the movie, and the violent death scenes were pretty solid. But if you're a big fan of Brad Pitt, I would say it's worth watching. If you really like dialogue, I mean, there is some great dialogue in this movie, but I don't think it's definitely not a movie for everyone. I don't know how much you would like it.
I love dialogue heavy films.
Yeah, but this is. I don't know. Are you a big Brad Pitt fan?
I enjoy Brad Pitt films, but I'm a much bigger dialogue heavy sort of. I love dialogue.
I'd be interested to see how you come away from it. My wife hated this movie.
Okay.
So I myself, though, like I said, I enjoyed it, and like I said, there's definitely some really really good scenes in this movie, especially again Richard Jenkins, Brad Pitt's. Those were the best scenes in the movie. Right. So I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are on it. And I also I watched The Croods with my daughter.
Thoughts?
Good movie. I enjoyed it. My daughter, however, stopped watching it about 20 minutes towards the end, so it didn't hold her attention. So I don't know about for the people out there that have kids that are her age. Gwen's 4, but Gwen likes weird movies. I mean, she gets into stuff that other kids doesn't. So she was glued to her seat for the entire Frankenweenie movie. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun, well animated, funny. Nicolas Cage was in a good film again for a change. So,
oh God, what?
That's a rarity. I was moved a little bit at the end when Nicolas Cage was trying to save his family and stuff. So I think it was a good movie.
All right, fair enough. I haven't seen any movies this week as it's been a deadline week for me, but I have seen a lot of trailers. The trailer for This Is the End. Oh my God, can't wait to see this film. Hermione stole all my shit. Oh my God, I'm possibly gonna get stoned and watch it. I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm probably gonna get really stoned and watch that film because whenever there's a Seth Rogen film, that's what I need to do. That's my sort of.
Yeah, how do you do that? Because you know what, back in the day, I partaked in the Chiba every once in a while, and the last time I did that,
the Chiba.
The last time I did that, it was let's see, what was it? It was Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, whatever the sequel was, which was horrible anyway. But I spilled my popcorn in the lobby, and that was probably the funniest. Yeah, that was Nature's Calls. Spilled the popcorn in the lobby. That was like the only thing I remember from watching the movie. I watched. I mean, it was all a blur to me. So after that, I was like, man, watching movies stoned just doesn't work for me.
I don't know. It works perfectly for me. So I don't know. I don't really. It's weird. I just really enjoyed it. I think it's something that I've been doing ever since Pineapple Express. Lo and behold,
that makes sense because you'd need to be stoned to enjoy Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express was hilarious.
At times.
Hilarious. At times. I mean, but like some of the lines.
Have you ever watched it with just clean and sober?
Yeah, of course I had. First time I watched it was seeing
Okay.
this over. I was crying with laughter.
Okay. But I'm with you, man. On This Is the End. If anybody, if you've nobody's, if you or you haven't seen the trailer yet, just definitely check it out. I mean, and the cast. I
Oh,
mean, what can you say about the cast?
I'm falling in love with Emma Watson. I'm telling you, man. She's something a little bit special.
I haven't seen any of the new trailers, and if they haven't seen any trailer with Emma Watson in it yet, so she looks like she's gonna be pretty good in it too.
Oh, oh my God. She's like, have you seen Perks of Being a Wallflower yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, okay. When I saw that, I had no interest in this girl whatsoever. I'd never seen any. I've seen one of the Harry Potter films. I don't even remember it because I was probably sleeping. I watched it with my
I
ex-girlfriend.
hate Harry Potter.
So I had nothing, nothing for her whatsoever. She's just an image, a picture to me. So I watched Perks of Being a Wallflower. I suddenly go, yeah, she's kind of cool. I see her in 10 seconds of this fucking trailer, and I want to marry her. I want to marry her. She's amazing. And she doesn't even speak that much, but what she does say, beautiful. And Rihanna's in the film as well. Oh my God, she's hilarious.
Well, for me, it's Danny McBride. I mean, Danny McBride. I love Danny McBride, and anything that he does is typically funny to me. I mean, even though he plays a lot of the same characters, but what I love about this is that they're playing themselves in the show.
Exactly.
So they're basically just doing, what they would do in a situation like this. So it should be absolutely hilarious. I'm hoping that it's not a complete and utter fail, because that's what movies like this, that's what they typically are. They're either absolutely a blast to watch or an epic failure that should never have been done.
You do see an absolutely epic death of a character early on in the trailer. So I warn you, if you don't want to if you don't want to be if you want to be surprised, maybe you shouldn't watch the latest trailer. But there is someone who dies in possibly the best way.
Okay, then I'll stay away from it, because I hate that too, man. Is it seems that Hollywood loves to put some of the best scenes in the trailers, so I'm going to stay away from it, because I'm going to go see this when it comes out, and and hopefully it'll live up.
Another trailer that I have seen, which has got me absolutely excited to the point of just like, oh hell yeah, this needs to be watched. Only God Forgives. Ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Did you enjoy Drive? I can't remember if we spoke.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
Drive is fantastic. Ryan Gosling, absolutely.
Ryan Gosling and the director from Drive have teamed up again to make another film, and this is called Only God Forgives. The plot is, I believe, a gangster in Thailand. His brother is murdered, and he goes after the murderer, and there's a Muay Thai element to this as well. I believe the gangster is Ryan Gosling, and he goes after these guys and he fights them using Muay Thai. And I cannot wait, because the trailer, the little bits you saw of it, was so good that it just made you go, "Can we just go forward to July now? I need this to happen. I need to see this film now." The trailer just looks beautiful. The use of pink, and I'm getting all like I studied film at university, so like I look for the little intricacies and little bits and all that sort of stuff. And the use of pink in the films and the way it sort of just highlights everything is beautiful. Beautiful. I cannot wait for this film to happen. Have you seen the trailer for Your Next?
I don't think so. Who's in that?
No one you'd know. It's an independent horror film that's coming out very soon, which looks frightening and awesome all at the same time.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's made the ways around some of the indie film festivals.
Yep. It's a family go to a retreat. You know the usual story: home invasion horror. Family go to a retreat. Someone dies and suddenly they're all killed. But this one has a twist, because amongst everyone in the family in the reunion, there's someone there who's very good at killing people. It looks really good, looks really frightening. I'm very excited to see it. I think I've got to really give Matt some love here, because he sort of got me back into horror films. His love for it has made me want to watch more horror films. I usually before I even started doing the show with Matt, you wouldn't catch me dead in a horror flick. Kind of want to see this film.
I'm glad to hear that, man. The horror films, they're the genre that it has an ebb and flow to it, and they'll disappear for a little while. But there's always some good indie horror films out there to find. There's always somebody doing something that's worth watching.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Have I seen any more trailers? Yes, I have seen some more trailers. Now You See Me. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't. Man, you're
Now You
like
See,
killing me here. I'm gonna have to get with the program.
ladies and gentlemen, you know where you should be going. You should be going to www.theyumyum.net. I post every single cool thing I find online on that website. Now You See Me has Jesse Eisenberg, Morgan Freeman, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, and Mark Ruffalo. Four magicians.
Oh, you've
Oh yeah,
sold me
no,
there. Four magicians.
wait. Michael Caine as well. Four magicians steal a large sum of money, and it's up to Mark Ruffalo to find out how that money was stolen in front of millions of people watching. And I've got to say, it looks pretty good.
Well, it sounds like it has a fantastic cast, and then with the fact that it revolves around magic, I think I'd have to see it. I mean, I bought a magic kit at like I don't know, it's 3 a.m. on some telemarketing show when I was like 16, and so yeah, I'm kind of weird.
You must have been stoned.
I don't know what I probably was stoned. I don't or drunk or both, but
Party time.
but yeah. So anything involving magic, I'm up for.
Jesse Eisenberg has to have some of the best lines in the film. Summer looks good.
So I mean, how excited are you for Scary Movie 5?
I'm just going to ignore that. Considering I just dropped a whole lot of knowledge of really good films that are coming out, you had to throw out Scary Movie fucking 5. Really? Unless it's made by the Wayans brothers, I ain't watching it.
Well, I tell you what, there is a film that I did watch them do a little documentary on, and that was 42, the Jackie Robinson story. And I'm excited not only for them finally putting this to film, and before Jackie Robinson's, forgive me, I can't remember her name, his wife passes away. She was able to really help with some of the scenes and was on set for most of the movie. But Harrison Ford in this movie looks like he's back to being able to act at least one more time in his career.
Do you want to tell people who Jackie Robinson is?
Yeah, I mean, he was the history-making MLB player, the first black athlete to really break through the barrier in baseball. And so, I mean, there's a lot of great black baseball players, but he was the
Barry
one
Bonds.
that well, no, we're not talking Barry Bonds, but I'm talking about in that era. But he was the one that broke through, and I mean, it's a fantastic story. He's an American legend.
I've never heard of Jackie Robinson until you said that there.
You've never heard of? You don't know who Jackie Robinson is?
I don't watch baseball. I don't like baseball, so I only know of Jesus, Barry Bonds, and Babe Ruth. Those are the only baseball players I know of.
Yeah, well, he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and like I said, he broke through the race barrier. I mean, it was, and from what I've seen of the movie, I mean, they've done a really, really, really good job of portraying that in a film. So I can't wait to see it.
Cool. Looking forward to seeing it myself then. Even though, to be fair, I did watch the last baseball film I watched was Moneyball, and I really enjoyed that. And
that was a great movie.
And I also enjoyed reading the book too, so I will definitely give it a shot. Erica, is there anything that's tickled your fancy recently in terms of trailers?
Actually, yeah. I just told Matt about a trailer that I saw. And I already forgot what the name of it was. Wow, this is why drugs are bad, people. The Purge is what it's called. So it's it may not be the best horror movie to come out, but I thought the premise was pretty original, which is sometime in the near future, they managed to reduce crime significantly in the U.S. by having one day a year where there are no cops and everything is legal. And people pretty much just go out and do whatever they want for 24 hours. So it's trying to think who is in this. All these white actors kind of look the same to me.
Matt, is there anything you want to say to that?
Yeah, I feel really that was a little bit racist.
A
I'm
little bit.
offended.
Oh, it was only a little bit
Oh.
racist. I thought it was a lot of it racist. Ethan Hawke is in it. Um, I believe the woman who's playing his wife is from Game of Thrones. She's the queen from Game of
Still
Thrones.
don't watch Game of Thrones.
Let me tell you something, dude. This is completely off of the trailer thing. I just started watching Game of Thrones. I refused to watch it for a long time because I thought it was like super fantasy, and I'm not into fantasy at all. Um, it is an amazing show. As somebody who is a Buffy addict, I loved Angel. I loved Firefly. Um, I watched Supernatural. So, I'm into really kind of strange shows, I guess. But Game of Thrones, amazing character-driven storylines. I think you'd like it. I can't really
Are
see
you
how.
up to date with it?
No, not yet. I
Okay, I
am.
was gonna say because the Uber fantasy stuff is yet to come.
Yeah, and they kind of built. They slowly bring you into it, which I like. I would not have been ready to see a full-fledged dragon in my first episode, or even in the first season.
On the
Um,
third season, they break it off. So they
I'm
stick
ready
it
for it.
in and break it off.
I'm ready for it. Let's do it. I'm greased
So
up and
Um,
ready to go.
I don't want to see no dragons and shit. I'm like the Nick Diaz of not liking great games of Game of Thrones. Nick Diaz doesn't like spinning shit. I don't want to see dragon shit. Simple.
I don't even really understand that, Andre.
Apparently
D-
there are dragons in the show. I don't like dragons. I don't care about
Are you
dragons.
scared of dragons? I mean, did you have like nightmares of dragons when you were a kid?
No, but I've slept with a few.
I mean, nice, nice shout out, nice shout out there.
Ba
Thank you very
zing.
much. Thank you very much. Let's kill this because I think I've just shot the show down. Matt, is there anyone you want to thank?
Well, as always, fightfansradio.com. Go check it out. Tons of great podcasts. And Andre and Erica, thank you for doing the show with me.
Shout out to Fight Fans Radio, brilliant. Erica, shout out to you because you're lovely and I miss you on a regular basis. Matt, shout out to you because you're an awesome co-host and a very good friend. And shout out to my friend Corey Tate, who retained his bantamweight title on Ultimate Challenge last night and should be going to the UFC in the next few fights. So I'll be looking forward to seeing a fellow Northwest Londoner joining the ranks of the best MMA promotion in the world. Yeah, I think that's about it. Erica, if you want to play that funky music that isn't that funky, we're out of here. Peace.